As you get close, you can see it a whole lot better. You can tell that there are massive chunks of it missing, that much of the structure has been revaulted to look as like an old school cathedral. And as you get close, the vessel pulls into a docking system. And as you pull into park, you can see that the center of it has been roots and lumber and vines and things kind of structure the center pillar of this whole big thing. There are brothers and sisters dressed in the exact same kind of gray robe, kind of rigid hood, bustling about, doing their day to day. But there are also other people that look just like all of you. Jumpsuits, simple clothing, no technology. And as the door kind of opens up and the gangway pans down at that angle, you hear it as it touches. And instead of that usual sound of the steel walk path hitting a steel floor, it hits wood.
Long has Arceon been existing in its genesis as you were, Timaeus?
The order of the monks has been around much longer than the station itself. Some thought this was to be that order's final resting place. I guess you could say that they were sent here to die.
And how long was that?
Roughly about 70 years ago. Many of the original monks have long passed us, but they passed down their ways through their strong faith, knowledge, and firm understanding of what it means to actually be an empathetic community.
And Sister Agatha has been here for 70 years.
Yes.
Interesting. She probably knows many of the people here then.
She knows many, yes. She knows many things as well.
Can you direct me to Gravity Time?
Because of course, you'll want to head to Deck 4. This is where our shopping district is, if you can use the term shopping. You'll find the station there in the main plaza.
I don't trust many things on the surface at this point.
Who knows?
How did you become more skeptical than me?
Maybe Shakespeare was like the king of this place. And once they know who we are, we're almost like the... I don't know much about old Earth religions, but maybe we're like the priests.
Did anyone forget that we're dragging Shakespeare's old house? If he's alive, he knows.
Let me see what I can dig up. Meet back at this junction in, say, how long do you need to release your chakra, Arden?
I would not be able to tell you. I've been trying to get my chakras in alignment for many months now at this point in time, basically since we left the colony. So perhaps Sister Agatha knows it better
2
than
hours.
I did.
2 hours,
okay,
is that?
That's true, yeah.
In 2 hours, we'll meet right back here.
Yeah.
If any of us fail to show up, then we need to be on high alert. I will cause a scene if any of y'all are missing in 2 hours.
Okay.
Enjoy your massage.
It's not really a massage. It's realigning the energy. It's ready.
I don't care.
All right. That's fine.
Cheryl, has another like myself been to this place?
A lot of people come and go through here, but I have not met one since I've been on board for the last decade. They don't really make your model anymore.
No, they do not. Would anyone have a knowledge of another unit of myself coming aboard this particular station?
Oh, yes, of course, I imagine so.
Would it be Brother Palia?
Brother Palia might, though his interest is only in his green thumb and the medicines that he can make to help heal us all.
How about Sister Agatha?
Sister Agatha is a fountain of knowledge, and the fact that even in her old age she chooses to use her hands and her healing for others is admirable.
Cheryl will be back. This is very important. Very important. I will be back, and I would love to have so many more conversations with you. You must understand it's extremely rare, this kind of meeting.
If you say so.
Yes.
Would like to learn more, maybe about the history of the synths on board. I suggest you talk to the head synth himself.
Does he have a name?
He is the right hand to St. Thomas, but he believes in a crossing of our peoples. And so he took a head abbot, Brother Anthony.
Brother Anthony.
The one like you that I met. I remember something. he introduced himself. He called himself James. And after 10 or 12 feet, your arm, as you go to reach to like maybe peel it back, kind of cuts through open space. And if you peel it back, you kind of step through, and what you step onto is a platform of some kind. It still has wood over it, but it very clearly at one time was like a metal platform.
Okay.
And it's in front of a door. It
Three.
is tight. And as you spin it, it lets out like, but to your surprise, all the plants around you kind of catch the sound. And as it creaks open, you are met with almost empty room. At one point, there probably was a lot of technology or some kind of reactor core in here or something like that. There is nothing in here now. It is an empty room. So
Okay.
maybe you flick open what we would consider like a Zippo.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It kind of
Just kind of
flicks on, and as it does, you can see that there's some dust in this room. Not a whole lot, because there's not a lot to settle. It's just whatever's in here.
Mhm.
But now you can see where holes once were, where machinery would have been bolted down here and those kind of things. What was originally here at the core of the civilization vehicle before it was converted. And as you kind of light and you're looking around, the door behind you closes
Sweet.
and locks behind you, locking you in. Correct?
I kind of rush back to sit with Ace, and I write out a note that says, first, just a note that says, "Are you okay?" When she serves the tea, I just hand it to her and say thanks.
And she looks at it, and then she looks at you, and she looks at it, and she looks at you, and she says, uh-huh,
Awesome. We'll let you know if we need anything else.
uh-huh. And she kind of looks at the note and thinks it's weird, and she pockets it.
While enjoying the tea, Vince will write another note that says, "We are friends of Shakespeare. We know what happened. I'm so sorry. We want to help, and we're looking for help. Do you know where he is?"
You see her eye scan the whole thing. There's a couple moments where she looks around, making sure nobody else is reading it, and then she pockets it and makes eye contact with you. She comes to collect your empty cups, and when she does, she very simply drops a piece of paper that says, "Oh, thank the heavens. Somebody's here to rescue us. Meet us at the lake in 3 hours. I don't think I've seen your faces round here before."
Not regulars, not to Arceon. This is our first time in, actually.
Well, welcome. I'm Saint Palia.
Thank you for seeing us, Saint Palia. Kitchens and my associate here, friend, is Barden, Axe Barden.
We don't get a lot of visitors down on this end. Is there something you're looking for?
Yes, actually, we just spoke to Sister Cheryl, and
Oh, it's a good sister.
yes, with kindred spirits, her and I. It was actually nice meeting someone of the sort. And she informed me, as I was looking for something very specific. I'm hunting for a particular fungus. She said that I would need your permission, actually.
Well, the only thing that needs my permission is if it's a Class A.
Class A, yes.
And what, dare I say, are you looking for to do with one?
I'm a scientist. I've studied medicine for a long time. I'm trying to get a depth of understanding of how Ophiocordyceps can function in colony-based host structures. Barden's
eyebrows
brilliant.
raise.
Barden is brilliant in his
Thank
own
you.
right, and
Thank
he is more than willing to accept things that might be out of the normative field of understanding, which is what allowed me to move down this path of finding cordyceps. I thought it was crazy,
Yeah.
and his suggestion led me to this, and there's nowhere in the galaxy that I was immediately able to find this. I wasn't even expecting Arceon to be on our map.
Well, it's not on most maps.
Happy accident.
Yes. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in a bit of a pickle because my heart tells me that I should help you. And my vows tell me that I should give you whatever it is you need. But my gut tells me there's more to this. An artificial person and a geologist. Oh, is that correct?
Yeah, it's one of
Doesn't
my.
matter.
I do have a
Right.
doctorate in geology. Yeah.
A scientist of rocks is wanted to look into a deadly fungus that eats flesh.
Well, I mean, to be fair, sir, it's only deadly towards typically ants.
No,
No, it's deadly to many.
it's
Many,
deadly to just about any living creature.
many
Do you want to
living
know
creatures.
how we got our sample?
Does that help us get a sample of our own?
Many decades ago, we had an outbreak on board the
Right.
ship.
upon Arceon.
Yes. Small breakout, praise be. Lost a lot of good people. Quarantines, the likes, lot of cleanup. One of the worst outbreaks we ever had. And the last time we've had to quarantine. A small sample was taken and kept so that we could study it and attempt to avoid such a thing again. We're going to need you to present your argument. A full case of what it is you're doing, your scientific research, and then we'd be happy to gift you what you need and send you on your way. As for you, do you look like you could use a fresh day at the spa?
Actually, we were going to stop by Sister Agatha after we saw you.
I think you'll like Sister Aggie.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here a little bit late. We had some tech issues, but we're here. If you guys would like to like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon down below. Usually I pimp out the $5 tier where we have all of our after shows, but recently we've been doing some private Patreon streams and some other cool exclusives over at the $10 tier. So if you want some hot behind the scenes stuff, go check that out. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation, and as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Dot tries to kill us in space, and two, every dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. That being said, you'll note that there was no recap because I ran out of time, and I ran out of time for 3 weeks. Apparently, I had 3 weeks of time, and I ran out of it. So to recap, Dot, what happened last week?
Yeah. By last week, you mean a few weeks ago, because so much has gone down.
Yeah.
Actually, before we had to face tech goblins, I was saying that I actually got to run some extra aliens on the cruise, which is why I was out the week before last, because there was a holiday. You can't blame me for Thanksgiving, but you can blame me for the cruise. And it was cool. I got to run some extra aliens. It was very, very different. They really like the Colonial Marines. They really like killing stuff. But we just ran one shot, so it was down and dirty, and there was some death, which was cool. If things go well, as I was also saying before we went live, there should be no combat today, because the last time we saw this group, they were in a pacifist community, specifically a community of monks, I guess you could say, who have, or at least it started with an order of monks who have left advanced technology behind. But to the group's surprise, when they arrived at this greener pastures, I guess you could say, what they actually found was a repurposed space station that had been turned into a green space. It's actually so large that it has its own atmosphere. And I think the group was pleasantly surprised by what they found. They did not find anybody trying to pickpocket them or trick them or use them. What they found was a self-sustaining society of well-organized monks and what they called the brothers and sisters, or clergy, if they don't use him, her pronouns. And everybody split up, because what do you do when you arrive at a brand new location? But you split up, because Kitchens and Barden had some very specific things that they wanted to accomplish in mind. When Rin found out there was a single place on board, this size of a moon, everybody, the one place people are not allowed to go, Rin had to know why. What Rin found, to her surprise, was emptiness, as the one place you were supposed to go was said to house the machinery or the mechanics that create the atmosphere around this location. But what you found there was a completely empty room in which Rin became locked in. The tea time lady was also visited. The real reason why we were here, but of course it was Vince and Ace who took on that mission. And some suspicious things happened. They had some lovely tea and a little date. And when Shakespeare's name kind of got brought up, she told them to meet her by the lake in 3 hours' time. Hitchens and Barden found themselves on the science side of things. They discovered that there are other synthetics on board. Specifically, we knew her as Evie, but that same model of synth was found farming mushrooms and other plants in the greenhouse, and pointed them in the direction of a woman named Sister Agatha for healing reasons. Also learning she's the oldest person on board, or on this, in this place, Arceon. And that there is an important person that would need to give you permission to take what Kitchens really wants, which are these spores. These spores specifically for a certain kind of fungus that attaches itself to the body, basically, and through it takes over the mind, the body, and slowly kills the thing. But it, and in an attempt to potentially build a weapon against the weapon that has already been built, biological weapon against biological weapon. I like it. Very cool. Virus versus fungus, who's gonna win? So we ended though with a little bit of healing, and that is actually where we pick up. Barden, to keep things brief, I will tell you that there's a reason why Sister Agatha is so well renowned. Your joints and your bones have never felt younger. She gives you a massage, an acupuncture, or what would be considered acupuncture, which is probably a bit of a lost art form at this point, I imagine. The things that she does, there's no technology used when she heals you. She places hot stones on your back. She uses acupuncture. She pulls these kind of crystals out, what we would know as Reiki, now kind of lost to time and space, but some form or semblance of non-technology based healing. And your body by the end of it feels amazing. That woman gives a deep tissue massage like her forearms are the size of football players. She's the best. The best.
I'm sorry.
Anybody loves a good deep tissue.
G said in chat that the sacral chakra is off the fucking chain.
Yeah. And you know what? If that's how things pan out, that's fine. But what you really learn about Sister Agatha is, after she gets past kind of crushing, and maybe there's mutual crushing, she does flirt a little bit, but she's really good at what she does. Kitchens, do you wait around for Barden to be done to speak with Sister Agatha? What is the...
Oh yeah, she practices holistic medicine, and Kitchens doesn't buy it. So if for some reason Barden comes back and he is elevated to any degree, this is a moment to study.
Oh, interesting. I imagine it's a rather private session, but if Barden does give permission, I guess you could peep in at her activities. There's a lot of touching to be medicine, if that makes sense. And I don't mean in the back masseuse parlor kind of way. I mean like in a general, like there's a lot of physicalness to it that lacks in what we this world considers modern day medicine. Right? People can heal themselves by dropping inside of pods and having lasers remove their appendix. Like it doesn't even need a personal touch. Actually, it can just be programmed and done.
Technically, it would probably be even more amazing to Kitchens, given that aside from a massage, there's little to no touching. Reiki, there's no touching.
Correct. It's a non-touch base.
Yeah, so the closest thing you can think about is that one scene in Karate Kid where he and heals Daniel-san's leg. Yes. That's Reiki, essentially. So that is the most basic description of what Reiki is, and so that's what Agatha is doing, just running hands and relocating energy over his body. So to Kitchens,
I love that you just took ridiculous. My great description of holistic healing in the future and applied it to the fucking Karate Kid.
That's what it is. That's Reiki. That's what he's doing. He's doing Reiki on Daniel.
It's true. So I guess you probably do see both, but you also see her break out a series of these very small needles. She would do acupuncture, which for the record will in fact solve some of your swelling problem, Barden. I think she would tell you that because acupuncture is known to do that as well, right? It helps with blood circulation and blood flow. It would help your muscles. It would help your joints. Anything that was locked up or tensed up is probably gone. And Kitchen's in about, oh gosh, her acupuncture would take an hour alone. In about 2 or 3 hours, Barden is fast, I imagine, fast asleep, face down on this woman's table with nothing but a towel between him and God.
He's dumbfounded, just dumbfounded. When does she actually do like the and all of that?
I mean that's what Reiki. Yeah, so she would feel right until she felt the energy where it's tense, right, and then she would use something to release that energy. It could be a stone, it could be a motion, it could be a sound, right? Snapping gets used, bowls are used. She might have even pulled out like a brass bowl and you hear like ting.
I am not sure what to think of this. This is
from a purely medical standpoint, especially on a scientist, none of this makes sense. None of it.
I was going to say she looks insane to you. Like nothing that she is doing looks like medicine by what you know. Not a single thing she does. Except for maybe the needles part, but it's not injecting anything. His whole body gets covered in these tiny needle points.
It's clear that you provided some levels of comfort or relaxation. I'm not sure of the long form experience here, and I do not believe that it is possible for me to exhibit these similar old. I do not know. This isn't medicine. You've confused me.
She goes, "What you mean it's not medicine?" She says,
"Why did you stab him so many
because,
times? Like, what the point of that is a lot of punctures."
She goes, "Well, I bet you have a medical degree? You know things."
Oh, I certainly do.
How many nerve endings are there in the body?
Enough. I don't know if is this do you utilize leeches as well?
No, not particularly. That's was a form of medicine used. It's kind of hokey pokey. She's like ding bowl.
Yeah.
She says it, like
Right,
like
right.
leeches. How barbaric of you.
Right.
Ding.
Okay. How long is he going to be down?
Until his body wakes him up. Sometimes the process can take hours. Sometimes it's exactly what it needs to reboot,
How many needles did you use?
Oh, this set was about 150, give or take. It was just the lights, because I don't think he's got all day. You seem like you're in a bit of a hurry.
Oh, I have time. Time is on my side. Not so much on his.
Well, maybe this will give him a freshen up. I'm a ripe 82.
Fresh for the picking.
Hopefully not picked too soon.
Oh, 82 seems quite long. In the what are they? I don't understand. In the tooth?
What? Whose tooth? I do not pull teeth.
It's a saying.
The one job I don't do.
I read. Oh, interesting that you don't do dental work. This fine. I'll wait. I'll wait unless. Well, if they. Oh wait, we were supposed to meet, Ren, and.
Oh.
You're right. Might have to cut this short.
Oh, well. I guess I'll start the waking up process.
Do you need help removing the pins?
Oh, yeah. And you see, she starts like in a specific order, begins like removing them, and she drops them in like a metal tin plate.
Oh. Sort of satisfying.
Yeah, it's a great stress reliever on my part. Nothing like just a jab every once in a while to work it out. I got a question.
I hope to have an answer.
Of all the synths I've met, none of them really are interested in healing people. Is that what you do? Now that you're free and all that?
It's hard to say if I'm really free at all. I didn't have as much of an interest. It's a glorified mixer of sorts, a pharmaceutical specialist. But
Oh, it's the chemicals.
there's just a lot of people that need help. And
You smoke grass?
No, I smoke nothing.
Would you like to?
I don't know what that would achieve.
She plucks like the last needle from like his hiney or just like above like the butt area and drops it and then puts warm stones on his back. And she's like, yeah, it'll be about 10 minutes or so. It'll get hot enough. He'll wake up. Let him sleep it out. She says, while we wait, she pulls out like a rolled something and begins to toke on this cigarette right here at her doctor's office.
Do others since partake in the the smoke?
Sometimes I guess it was really more of a polite thing. I know it may not do anything, but nobody wants to smoke alone.
I will sit in the space and talk with you then.
All right. She sits down on the floor, crisscross.
More for
this
you.
84-year-old woman's like, oh, just don't bend like you used to. You know, she kind of pulls that leg up. She sits crisscross applesauce on like a little floor pillow.
You've been here for a while.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning. What was the beginning like here?
Well, it wasn't really meant for this, but I imagine you figured that out on your own.
No, I didn't imagine it would be like this. I'm surprised to see any sense at all, let alone those that were so welcoming, so recognizing of other synthetics, artificial humans.
Why do you say that?
Historically, my kind are not exactly welcome in most spaces. We're looked at like villains, boogeymen of sorts.
Wayland Utani's looked at like the boogeyman.
Oh,
You're just a tool. You know?
I suppose you're right.
But I guess I had come in contact with synthetics before when this was still a station or whatever. They didn't really send us out here for success, if you know what I mean.
I do. I think I do. What did they send you out here for?
Well, back when Earth was just Earth, things were a bit simpler. We decided we didn't like the way things were going. We didn't want technology ruling our lives or taking things over. So I was young at the time, and my father was a monk and helped found the order. So we came out. We preferred books to technology.
And how long has it been since I've been aboard the Arceon?
Me?
Since you've been here, when was the first time you encountered a synth on board?
Well, I guess we've had a synth around kind of since the beginning. The order was founded alongside Brother Anthony, who's a synthetic. He's an older model, but still a synthetic.
Have you seen a synthetic like me before?
You mean your model?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen one of you.
How long ago was that?
I have to look up a timeline thing for this, y'all. It's a really good question, Bub. I went to the lore sheet looking at the timeline. Okay. Well, I mean, technically, I guess it's been about 50 or 60 years.
Oh.
But we've never had one stay here.
Did you meet him personally?
Yeah, I guess so. when all of this was originally set up and they sent us out here, after we were branded terrorists and, political descendants, we there was checkups that had to be done for the station itself. I mean, Wayland Yutani kind of owned it at one point, and I guess he was part of the maintenance crew or working with the proper channels to approve it for launch or whatever.
Do you like it here?
I've been here all my life.
Oh,
I don't know anything else, and I hate to think about what it's like now.
There are many places.
Person that comes and goes with technology or bumps into us by accident, but people come here because they want to be here. This place exists because we wanted it to be here. They sent us out here to die, especially after what St. Thomas did.
What did St. Thomas do?
Oh, a little political terrorism, a little cyber. We're against technology. He took a stance. He wrote a virus. And back then it was called the New Plague. And it spread rapidly throughout all of these computer networks and these big corporations, Wayland Yutani included. It effectively ran the whole planet of Earth for a period of time. Back then, the monks did things differently. So the order of monks, they targeted metropolis areas, populated cities. When they shut all the technology down, people flocked to them because the virus eradicated debt. Vast amount of data was lost. Entire storage banks, people's prison records. It was a reset button. A chance.
A fresh start.
Well, the corporations didn't like it very much. Most importantly, Wayland Yutani. So the Three World Empire and the United Americas surrounded us all up. Bought off the judges. Called us conscripted terrorists. We were deemed, my dad was deemed dangerous. So they relocated us to a space station that was supposed to be our home. Except shipments didn't come. Nobody ever picked up the trash. Brought new food, fresh water. What they did was they left us out here to die. This was supposed to be a tomb. So the monks changed their ways and said, if we can't fix the world, we'll build one. And they did.
And in this old world, is this where you learned the art of fixing people with not medicine?
No, those are from the old days. My mother was, back then, they used the common term witch.
Okay.
My father found his spirituality through other means. Not everything you could see or touch. My mother was a practical lady. Taught me how to use what nature gave you until, there was no nature left.
Fascinating. It's very interesting to see that you've thrived out here in this place. There is very little here. I see that there are, you were supposed to die, a tomb. Yet you managed to build.
That's my roommate.
Spicy lore.
Tomb.
We all danced to fill the silence.
Yeah.
I did.
Just such long pause as we look longingly.
Dramatic pause.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a tomb, yet you managed to build so much more from nothing.
I mean, we decided to put our value in something else. Your food comes from some Wayland-Yutani station that processes it and duplicates it and clones it. We did the same thing. We just didn't use technology. We made our sheep breed the old-fashioned way, if you know what I mean. And she kind of she wraps a towel and pops it over right on Barden's hiney. She says, he should be up by now.
The whole time I just didn't want to interrupt you. Having a conversation, I felt it was rude to be. I got my nethers are exposed, ma'am, and that you're having a casual conversation about your father and witchcraft. So I didn't want to. Excuse me. And he like
nothing we haven't seen already, friend. It's all right.
All right. Well,
I just stuck like 150 needles in your body.
Now,
well, yeah, technically.
Something about sticking. Anyway, I'm gonna put some pants on. He slides.
She doesn't even lets Barden do his thing, and she looks over to Kitchens to let you continue your query.
So people stopped here. They stopped. Yet nobody. I suppose I'm misunderstanding of some of the policies. We weren't allowed to embark to bank here. We weren't allowed to pull into station. Yet we do see that there are multiple trash vehicles.
Yeah, we got a collection of freighters. Why, are you interested?
I just wanted to know when people made their way here and decided to settle here. At what point?
Well, by now we've got up to 3 generations of RC unborn. Their families before them. Some people do come and stay. Others are here to refuel or buy fresh food.
How did you come across soil and seed?
Back then, when the new plague dropped, not everybody on Earth was upset about it. When they find out that we were out here and Wayland-Yutani had abandoned us, they provided us some things for a while, at least as long as they could. We worked closely with them. Eventually, their operation had to pull to the stars as well. But their purpose is different than ours, but no less important.
Brother Anthony, you said that he was here from the beginning as well. I think I'd like to speak with him, particularly about James, when he was here prior, the same model as myself.
Why are you here, Kitchens?
I wish to collect some species of mushrooms, and I was led to believe that there might be a haven out in the vast black that I might be able to acquire them. I was led here. And I found them. They are here. I met another synthetic. She was doing shrooms.
There are many kind of organic materials that can affect organic life and synthetic life.
Very interested in this.
If you ripped all of your technology away, you might find what you're looking for, Kitchens. Medicine is not just chemicals and algorithms. Medicine is the art of empathy.
I think some things we may agree to disagree upon. I think empathy is its own art. Medicine collectively is practice. Something I'm sure that you have a significant amount of.
That's true. Well, I guess. I've seen broken bones.
And if I strip away all of the technology, I wouldn't exist. So I'm grateful that I've had an opportunity. I'm grateful that Wayland Yutani found someone who could make something such as myself. Gratitude is mostly new to me. It's mostly new to synthetics in general, from my understanding. I am free. I am artificial, but I feel more human now than I ever have. And I have friends.
I bet many of the synthetics on board the ship will tell you that if they stripped all the technology away, they would still exist. Maybe not in a literal sense, but everything they've done up to this point matters. And it doesn't disappear just because your technology is taken away.
You may be right. For now, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to remove the swelling from his prostate.
Oh, don't worry. It's already probably gotten better. The acupuncture should have solved much of that.
I'm gonna be honest, Kitch, my ass feels great.
It's great to know.
Yeah.
I managed to map and model exactly where the acupuncture was, so if worse comes to it, I should be able to simulate with absolute efficiency.
Great. Yeah. And I know for a fact we have plenty of, what is that, a 0.3 gauge needle? Yeah, we have plenty of those. We got plenty of, fine.
I would suggest, I have something for you. She kind of like waddles out very slowly, and you hear her kind of go to a space nearby. She pulls those like beaded curtains back, and she rustles, and she comes back with what is basically like a 101 for holistic medicine. And she says, before you start poking your friend, and she opens it up to like the page that covers acupuncture, and of course it starts with the points on the hand, and then you get the full body map. She says, you seem to be a man of science, and though you may not find most of this scientific, there is, as you said, an art to it. And she passes over her, it's old and like, it's not even leather, it's like a canvas cover you can see kind of pressed or foil pressed into it. At one point was kind of the front cover, has like probably a lotus flower or something on it, I imagine. No longer shiny in a metallic way. It's far too old for that, but you can still run your hand across it and feel where it was pressed at one time. And she says, hey, for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I guess you could say I found it in one of those trash freighters. She smiles kind of cheekily.
Very kind of you. I promise not to let this information, this medicine, go to waste.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, as much as I'd like to continue to stand around and pontificate about medicine, I'm due for a milk bath.
Seems highly wasteful,
Ta-ta!
but please, by all means.
I don't care what you think.
I didn't know you had a milk bath service as well. I would have signed up. I had to wait.
Well, you come back.
She
goes, oh my God, you just come back.
The full mud cake.
Oh, if you want the mud bath, we have a hot spot near the lake at the top.
This is what I've been talking to people randomly about here. What's the retirement package around here? Like, if I were to retire here on the wooden planet, what am I looking at? How much does it cost to retire here?
Retire?
Yeah. Like, I want to give up the life of space. Rocks. That's yeah. I'm a rock scientist professional.
Well, if it means anything, we do have dirt and rocks here on board the ship, if that is helpful. But nobody here really believes in paying for your way. If you want to join the community, you simply can come.
I'm also a certified yoga instructor. Does that help at all? I specialize in geriatric yoga.
Why don't you tone it down there, lover boy?
And she says, what? I definitely need that milk bath now. And she says, you come back if you want to teach those yoga lessons. As she kind of like scutters off down the hall and kind of looks over her shoulder.
Something, a thing or two, Miss Agatha. He like elbows kitchens.
She goes, oh, and she kind of peels back the beaded curtain and goes into some room.
You realize that if this goes any further, I am forced, for all reasons, to record it from start to finish, to analyze
Listen,
for scientific reasons.
Kitch, it wouldn't be the first time I've been caught on film doing something I don't regret. So, you do what you have to do. I put it on a loop, send it to your friends. Everyone will be impressed. Look at this.
Ah, yes.
And he
All of my
like,
friends at Wayland Utani. Oh,
He's
you
like-
mean Ren? You want me to send it to Ren?
I
Perfect.
mean, hey, she's technically, don't let her tell you this, let her to hear her say this, technically in the geriatric category herself. So, like, she could learn a thing or two. I could just, legitimate yoga. Kitchens, nothing crazy. Look at this. And he lifts his leg up. And he's clearly impressed at the height of which his leg goes, which it looks like it still goes just the same amount that it could before. See this? That's what this does.
I think they call that a high step. Was that
look,
intentional?
He does the other one. Look at that. Limba. Oh.
Well, is that the life as a yogi, or is that the needles?
Both. Before I could only
Oh.
raise it this high, and he raises it just slightly lower than where it is now. And now, you see the difference? The difference that like an hour can make.
You realize that you did say that Ren was of the state of geriatrics.
Yeah.
But I definitely just within the last week witnessed Ren almost backflip out of a vessel, hang upside down, and save a soldier's life who was melting, and you bringing your knee to your belly button. If this is I'm impressed for you.
Thank you.
Pardon, I am.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you. Small incremental changes. I sat at a desk for my whole life there, Kitch. It's a different lifestyle. She's a trained killer. So,
something that you might move to the bargaining point for things to brag about was how quickly and deftly you drew that firearm and shot that creature off of my body.
You know what? I agree with you. I'll bring that up more often. As many
I bet
conversations as
Agatha
I possibly can.
She may have needed twice the bath after that sort of statement.
He
I still don't understand the point of
he
the milk
moves
bath.
the beaded curtain aside.
No. I'll bring that later. It's the second
We'll
time
Zach.
around. Second time around.
Hopefully we get Zach back.
Yeah. He left because of all the
Yeah, there's no way.
for obvious reasons. He left. He was like, "No, horny elders, I can't. It's not for me. This show is not the one."
It's like bad grandpa all over again,
Yeah.
man.
But worse. But paunchy.
Oh, bless. He's like, I'm out. I can't. Well, that being said, Barden, you do in fact feel better.
Thanks,
So
man.
much so, if you had any stress, it is gone entirely. Your whole bar is clear.
Cool.
I will say for the next few days, you can take a +2 to your dexterity. Like your hips are feeling good, your balls of your feet don't ache. She rubbed them. You're feeling good. Your hip is all not creaky right now. The acupuncture, the massage, the Reiki all helped. You can take a +2 to your dex or your agility.
Okay, cool.
Right. I'm sorry. It's these character sheets.
No, it's agility. You're right. You're good.
It is agility. Yep. To your agility for the next few days. Or if you want to make an argument for it, basically, if you're in a moment, you feel like it would be applicable that your physical form is in good standing thanks to Agatha's healing hands. Kitchen's watched everything, so all you at home, put your dirty little geriatric minds to rest. There was no nookie. It was all proper, good medical head. You know what? I'm gonna be honest there, Zach. We thought you left because you just couldn't take it anymore.
Listen, I just want to say, I want to put it out there. There used to be a lyrical, a great musician from back in the day, years and years and years ago, that said, we don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. And that was true for at least one of us.
Well,
Say.
I'm gonna say about 3 hours pass. Now, kitchens, you had a important date, like your next kind of stop, right? In your schedule, which was to meet with Brother Anthony.
Yeah, we had to wait it out though the
And
night, right?
yeah, it wasn't going to be until the morning because he had to gather the council, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big thing. So, I'm going to say, even though it is 3 hours have passed and it's definitely time for our bright-eyed and bushy-tailed youngins to go to the lake after their date, I want to do a hard cut to Rin.
Yes, this is what I wanted.
Rin. That door has not budged. You're through what? Feet and feet of plants. Oh, is there an echo?
From something, yeah.
It could be.
Is it for me?
It might be from you if it's your speaker.
Yeah, I think it's from a speaker.
Although it's.
I think there's just an echo cancellation you can turn on in Zoom that should cut it.
Yeah, it's back.
It was fine just a minute ago.
Maybe I'm too loud.
No one's ever.
No, you can hear my laugh too.
Wait, I might have done it.
Is this better?
Nope. A little bit, maybe.
No?
Yeah.
Really?
Check. 1, 2, 3. Test.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Although, are you wearing earbuds? Why would it be?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why it's coming through speakers. That's okay.
I mean,
everybody's on new
is she in an
setups
echoey
tonight,
room?
y'all.
Maybe.
It could just be an echo. Yeah, an echo in the room.
Okay. What about now?
Check.
I don't know. Does it help?
Maybe.
Listen, guys, if Bub can stream from the ISS, we can figure this out.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
It's true. That being said, I need to know, what do you do? Nobody comes to you. The air is getting thin in this room. Thin. Like it's this is an airtight room. You opened and then it closed behind you. So you're running out of air.
Cool. It's fun. Can she walk the perimeter? And maybe is there anything that, like, basically she's going really slow. She's got her whole body pressed up against one of the walls and is just slowly moving kind of Zoidberg style around the edge. Like that image there, Mike. Whoop.
Okay, the only thing I need to know is what kind of armor do you have? Do you have any? Does your armor have an air supply?
No.
Or okay.
Because I was forced to remove my technology.
It's true, you were.
Yeah. There's definitely no air supply. However, she has a scalpel. And that's about it. So,
One woman and a scalpel. Can she do it?
I need to
content warning. Jeez.
Yeah, you're right. I will tell you this. This room was meant to hold radioactive like generator. It's where probably like a massive piece of technology was supposed to be and isn't anymore.
Right.
You're not going to be able to cut through these walls with a scalpel.
Sure, of course. I mean, obviously. Is the floor all metal?
Yeah, it's basically it's airtight, it's light tight, other than like the one window that's kind of in the door, and right now you can see are the vines and stuff, right, that you kind of cut through to get back here. What would do you have your comms on you? You want to try to comm for help, or are you gonna just comms? Wait it out?
I'm just wondering if I have comms. I don't know. Do you?
What's in your gear?
Well, binoculars, which I wouldn't have taken because that's a technology. A flashlight, which I think is also technology.
And It depends on the kind of
Magnetic
flashlight.
tape
but yeah.
recorder, also
But
technology.
that's old tech. Remember, anything that's
Then she
considered
probably
old
has
tech.
that. She probably has
Okay.
that, so I guess she can leave her.
So
a
you can
note
start
for
writing your
everybody.
memoirs. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly.
god. Record them and then
Well, guys, I
scrape them in
fucked
the
up.
wall with the scalpel.
And data transmitter cards. That's all I got. And a lot of cash. A lot of cash that I never spent.
Um.
Going to be quite the loot box for a future adventurer to find.
Yeah,
when they open up this room.
exactly.
Looking for.
Okay. Let me do this. Let me do a little investigator. I have an investigator talent, so I'm just gonna
Cool.
I'm gonna
Tell me
do
what it
this
does.
and,
Yeah.
Okay. How the heck do I roll this thing?
Oh, you may not be able to. What is it?
Investigator?
Oh, the
Why did it do that? I don't even know what the purpose of that button is.
I don't.
Observation, right?
Yes, I believe
Just
that's correct. I can also look this up. Hang on. I have this in here. I forgot to roll 20. I actually have
I
things
know
in
what
roll
it
20 now.
means. It's just basically I spend my turn and roll observation. Each
Observation.
success, you ask a specific question, basically. So
Okay,
I'll
there
just
you go.
roll it. I'll roll that, and then
Oh, that's right. So you get one
that's really
question.
great.
Yep.
That's great. Thank you for that horrible roll 20. That's awesome.
I mean, you
Okay.
get one.
That's fine. So what is hidden here that she cannot see?
It was an observation roll. Observation at a 1, everybody, for chat. What is hidden here that she cannot see? Oh, I know. There's a camera in the ceiling. A very small one. A very kind of like microscopic. And it's only because you're trying to find a way out of here that your finger even runs across it. It looks like it should just be a bolt in this steel wall, but there is a camera facing straight down on you.
Okay.
So somebody knows you're here or will know you're here.
Yep. Okay. Is it like almost, does it feel like it's like makeshift secured in there, or like it was part of the room before?
That's a good question. No, I'll give that to you. It feels like the purpose of this is to watch this empty room. So it was put here after this place was cleared out. It wasn't part of the original radiation room or this structure.
Okay. Interesting. Well, is it possible for her to get the scalpel against the wire?
No, it's literally just like it's all you see is the shiny piece in the ceiling. It's like embedded flush to the ceiling, which is why you missed it. It just looks like what might have been a bolt, right? But when you get close and you start digging around, you actually see a little sheen and you're like, oh, wait a second. And since that's a question you asked, what you find with your investigator is that there is a small camera in the ceiling.
Okay, well, in that case, she will think for a second and then, okay, well, don't know if this gets audio, but I'm gonna suffocate probably unless y'all have air around here somewhere, which I doubt. And just open the door because somebody closed the door, and I'm guessing it was you. And if you can't hear me, well, I guess I don't have a pen on me, and the only other notable liquid would be my blood. So I think here's what's up. Either you're gonna find a dead body in here from suffocation or from blood loss. I don't know which one it is, but you probably want to make a decision about that in the next few seconds. So I'll give you like I don't know, 5 minutes. No, 5 is too long. How about 2 minutes? 2 minutes before I start making paintings everywhere, okay? All right, now where do we start? Let's start maybe by the door and we'll make something inappropriate. That way when they come find my body. She takes a scalpel and kind of like puts a little prick in her finger and starts drawing.
So just for my clarification, You're putting dirty pictures and your own blood on the walls of this room.
Yep.
All right, cool. Great. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I had not misinterpreted that.
Nope, you got that right.
So you talk up to the camera. There is no response. The door does not open. At this point, the room left has 5 consumable points of air.
Okay.
That's how it works. Down there in the bottom corner, you can find consumables. Usually that's attached to a gas tank of some kind, but in this case, you're running out of air, and it's not the same kind of thing as a vacuum, which they don't really have rules for. So what I'm going to say is this room remaining has 5 consumable points of air, and through tonight's game, we'll see if Rin runs out of air first, or if y'all find Rin first.
Yeah, she'll be definitely recording her memoir during this ridiculous drawing session.
So funny. Okay,
So I just want to say that everyone thinks that Barden is the horny old man, and yet Rin is drawing pornographic pictograms, like a cave. Like
Not just that, though. She's giving an entire tale of her life. Yeah, okay, like so there's Enzo, woman. And then many other men before that, and then the rest of it with the frozen ice. I mean, she's got stories to tell, guys. You do it old caveman style, okay, with the drawings on the wall. It's fine.
In the bone dome, as she's scrolling
so as Rin both paints a picture with words and a picture with her blood of her past, her present, and what looks to possibly be no future, the camera cuts as Rin remains trapped inside of this room. To Vince and Ace, you were told by this strange woman that you met at Gravity Time, who you have identified as the woman who took Shakespeare's dying body originally off of his station, which I remind everybody is being hauled by your matching okay, there's been a lot of questions about the trash freighter, so I'm gonna see if I can lay this out real smooth and thick. So you were dragging a similar style, I'll say similar style, because I did tell you it was spherical, it's not this big, station to the one that you are currently on behind your own trash freighter, which happens to also be the same make and model as the other trash freighters here. I just want everybody, okay? I'm not saying there's any connection. I'm just saying, that being said, the woman, she told you to meet her at the lake in 3 hours' time. All the signs, the directories and things on this massive station tell you that, the lake is above you. And actually in Roll20, I'm so sorry, friends at home, you can't see this, but here's what I will do for you. I'm going to link you to the Xenopedia page for Arceon, because all of the photos that I'm showing the cast are available to see on this page, because that's what I pulled them from. One of the really cool things about this, I shared this, I think, in the last after show, about this location, is it was supposed to be the original location of the third film, the third Aliens movie. So they had all of these extra drawings of this location, even though it didn't end up getting used. So you can see what we're going to talk through there. But if you take a peek at Roll20, and I'm going to move y'all to this one. There is a very large body, I guess, holding of water at the top, technically, of this station. You can see all 3 of the photos to the right, like, show you where it's at. So you'll basically spend the next 3 hours navigating this place, because y'all are not anywhere close to that. So who knows, there might be, like, y'all take a cute little bike ride with the guy on a cart. You know, he's like pedaling you on a cart or something to, like, this stop, and then you got to go from this stop to this stop. Yeah. And along the way, I will say, for speed's sake, but I will tell you that you see a couple things, Vince, that are of interest to you. A lot of the interior of the space station has been restructured into this old kind of cathedral format. Part of the new interior wood lining of it is reminiscent of what you would consider ancient Earth religion, like long since past. I don't even know if Vince would know that, but Zach would. In addition, you pass a large portion of the residential housing. And what you find is that the large residential housing area is made up of, the majority of it is made up of these small structures with windmills on top. Like this. What we might consider like a home, but there's like a whole floor, and maybe I'd say you pass it in an elevator. No, you know what? You do pass it in an elevator. How this elevator is powered, you're not exactly sure. You haven't seen a reactor of any kind, but and as you go up, you kind of look out over one of these floors that has been emptied. You can see this mass span of these little homes with these 5 propellered like windmills on them.
As we're traveling along, I know when we first got to the station and we were kind of there at the landing pad and looking around and making our plans of what each of us were doing, I think we made a plan to try to come back together. You know, like, you're going to go do this, you're going to go do that, you're going to go do this. And I don't remember what our time scale was that we gave each other. I thought it was actually 2 hours.
It was, you were told about an hour into your 2-hour mark that it would be another 3 before you meet her.
Okay.
So I'll leave it up to you. You can go back and wait on them, but I will tell you, Barden and Kitchen's journey is going to take no shorter than 5 hours, because they had 2 hours of walking about, meeting the mushroom people, talking about getting the spot, and then they went and got his 3-hour massage. So it's been 5 hours. So if y'all showed up, they did not, and neither did Ren.
Wow. All right.
Now, if that worries y'all, that's up to you. But you have also been given a chance to meet with this woman in more privacy.
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny that the couple that never gets the chance to be alone and free are the ones who are back there on time, ready to get back to business. But the Ace and Vince, I think they would, because after finding Tea Time Lady, and then she gives them 3 hours, I imagine Vince would probably be like, okay, that's perfect. That we can get back to meet up with everyone and we can all go see her. And so I think
they don't. I'll tell you this: they don't show up, and the time is going to get real close because you got to travel to the upper area of this place. So
either that's right. Either we spend time trying to get our friends who didn't show up, or we nail this meeting that was just given to us. So yeah. With that being said, I think, I mean, unless the fungus area or the core area are close to where we said our meeting point was, like, I'm imagining Vince and Ace right now are standing at the entrance to the station, the welcome to Arceon part.
Like the dock where they dropped you off, like the
If where Rin said she was going to be, or where Barden and Kitchens said they were going to be, is on the way at all, then maybe they would stop. But I think they would actually try to head to meet the.
I mean, if you kind of go through, unless you go to stop, unless you go to stop to ask somebody if they have seen them, you're not going to find them. Like, you don't see high or low of any of them.
Yeah.
They don't make your 2-hour mark, that's for sure. And if y'all wait around, you end up waiting around to a point where it's been a few hours and they still never show, and you're either going to miss the meeting or you're going to make it. It's up to you.
Okay. All right. Vince will find a way to leave a note at the meeting point saying we found
what was the meeting point?
I think it was we were like, okay, we're going to go find Tea Time Lady. We're going to go get you a massage and some fungus. I'm going to go investigate the core. And then we were all like, let's all meet back here after 2 hours. I think that's how it went. And so right at the docking bay, I'll just find a way to like, I mean, I don't know if there's a,
I mean,
these,
Brother Timaeus is,
yeah,
I mean,
they,
his job is to shuttle people, so
right.
he'd
They
still be
seem kind of,
down there.
he seems kind of trustworthy. I think I would write a note that says, we found, and just so in case he does read it, I'll say, we found the person we were looking for, have to meet them very soon. Saw you guys weren't here. Um, if you see this, we're up at the reservoir. And I sign our names, Vince and Ace, and I give that to Brother Timaeus and tell him if the same friends that I came over with come by, if he could give that to them, that would be great.
Yeah, Timaeus is kind of like, yeah, sure. He very clearly hasn't seen them, but he takes the note and
Okay.
probably pockets it, right, so that he has it if he comes across them. But he doesn't seem to have had any recollection of seeing them since he departed from all of you. So
Right.
off you two set, right?
Right.
If no more searching is done,
Nope.
to the lake. It's about 45 minutes of travel to just the topmost portion because you're taking a series of slow elevators. You're not sure if they're like hand cranked or how they're powered, but they're not fast. There are no trains. So some people have these like little bikes that get around with these carts and stuff like that. But G's got my back in chat. Thank you, G. G knows what's up. You started this, Mike. But when you get there, the first thing you're met with is actually the sound of a machine. And I don't mean like a high-tech machine. Like I mean an old machine. It kind of looks like a giant egg beater. It's like spinning the lake. It sits in it, like moves around in the lake. It keeps the water moving because it's actually not a fresh reserve, right? And so it's probably this whole process they have as it feeds the water down to everything is how they get pressure right, and then they just kind of recycle it and clean it and reclean it. But to your surprise, you're met with a large area of grass and kind of like these like hills like little knollish areas all around the outside where you could sit. There are benches, there are trees.
Wow.
If you didn't know, it feels just like a giant lake reserve with grass and trees and the little parks and stuff all around it. But at this time of night, it's relatively dark up here.
Yeah. Wow. This is beautiful. I say to Ace, and
you can see her eyes are huge, her mouth is agape. I've never seen this much water in one place before.
I wonder if they'll let us drink it from here.
I mean, I guess you can, though. I question whether or not that's the recycled water.
Yeah, maybe not. This is where they cycle up they make the sewage into drinkable water. Maybe we shouldn't.
She goes, I truly don't know, though I have to say I'm mightily impressed. Chad, I'm gonna drop you the picture of I think that shows these kind of rolling hill areas and trees and stuff nearby. But you can see there's like a woman with her dog on the far side, and the dog like splashes down on the water's edge because it slopes in that way. So the dog doesn't seem to be bothered by it, so maybe it is clean or has already been processed in some way.
Yeah.
You're not exactly sure. Copy. Boop, there you go. If you zoom in on that image, and this is the most upper right image in Roll20 for my cast. If you zoom in on that and actually look at the lake area, you can kind of see where it's like unfinished. All of that's like hills and grass and naturalness that feeds into it. And then you can see here is the little machine that constantly moves about the water.
Vince will check the time and see how early or late they are to this meeting.
You're pretty much right. You're pretty much right on time.
Okay.
The dog kind of splashes and barks, so the woman keeps walking. She like catches a path to the other side. There's probably a flight of stairs or something that like takes you back down. But what's most beautiful about this place, and the Ace notices it too when she looks up, it goes straight into space. even with its own atmosphere, there aren't a whole lot of clouds in this area, and it's like the roof is off. It's this convertible top of Archeon as you stare off into space. And usually this would be about the time that there's like a vacuum and you die. But that doesn't seem to be, happening. So there seems to be some kind of atmosphere that's both holding all of this water in place and assuring that like these trees grow and that, you don't float off and die. But it's just an empty void straight up into the sky.
Wow. Okay. I'll admit it's a little disorienting, but I guess let's look around for our woman.
As you kind of peer about, both of you see a little kind of farther down and around, there's a bench, and there is a figure on the bench. It's kind of got like a hood up. I don't mean like a dense hood, but just like, like she got a hood up, she's just trying not to be noticed. She's just kind of sitting there with her arms crossed. She doesn't wave at you. She doesn't make a motion or a notice. But that's probably her. It's kind of empty right
now. I give a look to Ace before we go forward, and I say, I mean, something that I've considered is our group has our own history with Shakespeare and his people, but you were like one of his top like people, right?
I mean, my dad was really good friends with Shakespeare, but I didn't even know this place existed.
Right. But I mean, after he died and all that time ago, there was that talk of like who's going to take over the network and all of his connections and everything, and we did that work and figured out that, I mean, I don't know, maybe there's a chance that some of these people are the people that we've been communicating with over that huge length of space.
Maybe. It just seems kind of strange that, well, you know what? We could always ask. And she kind of points to the woman on the bench.
Right. Okay.
First, as you walk over, you can see from underneath the hood, it is in fact this fair, kind of bright-eyed woman. She is covered up, or is at least no longer wearing her work uniform, her gravity time apron and all that jazz. And she sits trying very, very clearly to not be noticed. She wears kind of like a poncho, as if it rained, she would be covered. That's what the hood is like attached to these kind of bigger sleeves. And it dwarfs her in a certain fashion. And she kind of slides down to make room for the both of you on the bench.
I sit. And
the bench is near the water.
Okay.
We don't have to worry about tides because it's a closed body. So it doesn't rise or fall.
Are there any ducks?
Actually, she pulls out of her pocket a piece of bread. There are not ducks, but there are fish. And as she starts to like toss the bread into the water, you can see like fish and then like a turtle. Yeah. And she hands some to Ace, who is like enamored by the idea of fish. It's like looking and it's like, what is that? And she tosses some and it grabs it and she giggles a little bit and tosses some more, continuing, and then you can have some bread as well to feed the fishies.
I look at the woman kind of directly at some point and then say, so I'm Vince. This is
Ace. I know. The cheerfulness in her voice is long gone.
Ooh.
What do you want? Why are you here?
We are friends of Shakespeare. I'm not sure.
Shakespeare has no friends. Not anymore.
Well, a dead man probably wouldn't have friends, no? But
who said he's dead?
Exactly. That's why we're here.
You're here to prove Shakespeare's not dead?
That's a part of it, but he saved us from
Who do you work for?
ourselves. No one. We personally, between, well, I would love to share with you our allegiances, but who are you associated with anything? Not that you'd tell me the truth if you were.
I work for Arceon. She
Right.
says with great disdain.
What's your opinion of Wayland Utani, the United Americas?
Ew.
Okay. Do I believe her disgust?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was the most genuine, like mean girl, like, ew, God. Why are we talking about them? Like, she seems disgusted to be working for Arceon, but she seems way more disgusted to even turn the conversation towards the corporation.
Okay.
So she's genuine in that regard. She is living the rebel lifestyle.
Yeah. We share the same disgust and have been slighted on more than one occasion by pretty much all of them. And we we just need to talk to him if he's still alive. He helped us out of a real bind, and
Talk to him. He wants to talk to him. That's really funny. You see, I would also like to talk to Shakespeare because his actions got us in this position. And now I can't go anywhere. And I work in a shitty little tea shop and make commercials part-time so that I can make sure I eat. I can't imagine that both of you think that that's what I want to be doing.
no.
Especially after living the life that I was living. So I don't know why the two of you are here, but I'm going to make a really, I'm going to do you a solid and tell you, don't ask about Shakespeare. Don't ask anyone on this place about Shakespeare. He's not liked.
Your note that you handed back to me said something like, "Thank God, now someone can finally help us," or something like that. What? There's something you're not telling me.
She looks around as if somebody might be listening, even though there's not really anybody about. You hear like the plunk of a fish. Look, you should just do like everybody else has done and pretend Shakespeare is dead. It'll be better for you. It'll be better for us. The more you try to seek him out, the more dirt you're stirring up. He already made choices long before Wayland Utani burst through the door and pumped 2 rounds into his chest, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
And how you know that, I don't even know. I don't care. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
We have it. It's here. That's why we know he's not.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's where?
I look up
You
like,
brought it here.
yeah. Probably not the smartest move in retrospect, but
okay. Is it still functional?
well, you were there. You know that when they came in, the people that shot him also, I think, pretty much tore apart a lot of his stuff and,
Sorry, I wasn't there for that. I was half naked in a drop pod with a dying man.
Right. It's all still there. I'm sure someone like Shakespeare can find something to recover, but no, not a lot. I don't know if you know
does
about.
It work? Does the station work? Can it fly? Did you take apart the mechanics?
No, we didn't.
She says she realizes she shouldn't say that too well here.
No. What, you're looking around like this is your saving grace, like you're going to use it as. We are more than happy to take you with us if you're looking for a ride out of here. We don't belong here. We didn't come here to move here yet.
You know what? Oh, what was your name? Vincent.
Vince. Yes.
Vince, baby. Me and my sister, we chose
to leave Arceon with Shakespeare.
You were here
What
before?
what we didn't know is that Shakespeare's departure from Arceon came with a few strings attached, like the fact that he stole quite a large bit of valuable artifacts and old Earth items to start his own research project out in space. He believed that the Brotherhood was, or the Order was unsuited to protect it. So he went out and did his own little thing, and we played into his little morbid fantasy for years as he tricked, and she points at Ace, tricked people into hoarding items and things so that the Order couldn't have them or find them. And then before I knew it, he had called some trash freighter to pick some people up from an ice planet, and Weyland-Yutani burst through the door and started shooting at us. My sister, dead. Shakespeare, almost dead. Guess who picked us up? She gestures to Arceon. The Order was there. Shakespeare had been missing for like 30 years. Stolen their stuff, taken their things, tried to start his own library.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and steals one of their trash freighters? Still don't understand why. That being said,
that's rough.
I did the only thing I knew to do, which was let the Brotherhood do what they saw fit. I haven't seen Shakespeare since they took his bloody body from my hands. They welcomed me back with forgiveness and open arms, as long as I worked at Gravity Time.
And they're, you almost make it sound like you're enslaved here.
I guess you could say I have nowhere else to go. When I left, I relied on Shakespeare. And what, am I supposed to go get a job on a Weyland-Yutani station?
Right.
At least here I can feed myself.
Yeah.
And technically, I guess this is home.
So you've been on here for a while. Who would you say is like the head person? Like
the head person. Well, if you mean of the Order, you're probably talking about Brother Thomas.
Okay.
Unless you mean the man who started it all, and well, he's long gone, so.
Sure.
No, I'm so sorry. Not St. Thomas. Yes. Did I get that right? Yes, I did. No, that was St. Thomas's brother Anthony. I'm so sorry. So she says that the other way. She says there's Thomas who founded it all, St. Thomas, but he's long gone. And then of course you have brother Anthony who tends to keep things moving.
Okay. Okay, well, great. Awesome. I am sorry to hear about your sister.
Thank you. I appreciate that, actually. It's okay. She and I didn't get along. There's nothing like having to share your boyfriend with your sister.
I just, like, Vince blushes a little bit and looks at Ace and kind of makes a weird face.
Ace is like, I lived this shit with my dad for fucking 16 years, you know?
And, Vince narrows his eyes and says, so you're saying the stuff that Shakespeare had, like on his station, he took from here?
Yes.
Do you know about
do you know what it is? If we can bring it back, is all the stuff still? We should just give the brothers his space station.
Why?
We could just trade it. Then I don't have
for
to keep
him
working at Gravity.
You are you saying that they're no? Here it is again. I mean, sure, you don't want to work at Weyland-Yutani or something, but they're not keeping us here. If you're so desperate to get out of this place, we have a trash freighter sized freighter that happens to be a trash freighter. Like, you can come off with
You-
us.
You also have a trash freighter? Seems a little.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
What kind of trash freighter?
Insert model that
Make
happens
and
to be
model?
the same model as the other one.
Well, Vance, that's really funny. Consider Vincent.
Maybe it's yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
We used code names. You don't really think Shakespeare's his name, do you?
I would not have been surprised if it was.
She says, well, I guess what I'm saying is the trash freighter that Shakespeare sent out got us in so much trouble is surprisingly enough the same make and model.
How does that make you feel?
How does that make you feel?
I just look at Ace.
Ace is a little upset because everything she knows and believes in, that she believed like Shakespeare was out there doing good, is really a lie. And part of his larger fraud-like plan to steal from the order to start his own kind of
Right.
whatever he believed in, he believed he could do it better, but he did it by stealing from them first and then realizing that her entire life and everything that her people have worked for that they've built off of is kind of built off of a lie.
Mm-hmm.
She looks a little shocked.
Yeah. I give her a little look, as if to say that we'll talk about all this, but look back at the woman and okay, look, I don't know about I don't know about giving them his station or what that has to do with anything. You made that sound like it would be like a ransom exchange for you to be able to get off this rock.
I mean, I'm just saying, if it's where am I supposed to go, right? Like, I'm not going to come with the two of you.
Why not?
I guess because the last time I left this place with another person, things didn't really turn out great for me.
Then I guess
lived on
you're
a
stuck
secluded
here.
space station with a madman. No, it just means that I don't have to work the rest of my life in a tea shop. I could bring honor back to my family and some kind of closure to my sister.
So you're saying
Yes, what I'm saying is it's better than nothing. I literally showed up empty-handed except for a half-naked dying man.
So you're saying that if they got the station back and you were the one that handed it over, you would get, because we're in a place that doesn't have currency, you would get some sort of like social credit that would upgrade your life, is what you're saying, if his stuff is returned.
What I'm saying is they'd stop breathing down my neck and thinking that I was part of Shakespeare's scam.
Right. Okay.
Look, I just wanted. There's a reason why they call him Shakespeare, okay?
Yeah.
I was young. I just wanted to get off this wooden rock into space.
I'm not judging.
You know what I mean? And try something new. And he was all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And let me tell you, he's really good with prose. And my sister and I were into it. It was like a thing, and we had fun.
I kind of look around like the same way she was looking around when I started.
It's very clear this woman desperately needs therapy and has not been able to talk to anybody for a long time, and y'all just opened a floodgate.
Yeah.
And so she's just like spilling it. She's like, "Look, it's just one of those things. You know what? I didn't really mean to bring shame to my family. How was I supposed to know that he was scamming the order?"
You're all good. You're all good.
It's not good. It's really not good. And I'm going to be honest with you. I still don't know where Shakespeare is.
Do you... I don't know about, do you have an interest in finding him? Do you want to help us find him?
Maybe. I also don't want to get in any more trouble. The next stop for me is sewage if I mess up again.
Do you really want to stay at Gravity Time, though?
No, but do I want to go scoop animal poop? No. It's kind of a lose-lose for me.
Thank you for telling us anything, but
Hey, thanks for showing up to come get tea. I heard you saw the ad. Did you like it?
I kind of get the sense now that you've explained all this, you may have been dying inside when you recorded the ad, but despite that,
Yeah, but
it was actually pretty
works.
good. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and tea
We
sales
enjoyed
are
it.
up by
It
like
made us come over here.
12%.
Yeah.
She kind of nods like, hey, the ad was good for fucking
I know.
something, you know?
Yeah. Well, I have to go find my friends, but
Cool.
look, as far as good for something, you're the reason why we're here. You are the reason why we even found out that he might still be alive.
How did you find out?
Cameras, investigation. We've got some
What?
pretty good.
There were cameras on board? He said there were no cameras.
It wasn't just his cameras. Well, it was never mind. Yeah, just forget I said anything.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm just gonna sit here and feed the fishes for a while. And she reaches back in and pulls out the other half of the loaf, and she says, "Go." Well, you still can.
Look. I'm gonna go back and find my friends. The offer to take you off of this place still stands.
She says, "Well, my name's Wendy."
At least the name you want to give.
She says, "No, that's my real name. I don't go by the name. I don't use that name anymore."
Good for you. Well, hello, Wendy.
Vince, right? Ace.
We're
sorry to hear about
go...
your dad, Ace. I know it's been like
a
few years or whatever, but Shakespeare really trusted your father. He thought he was a good man. Ace is like deadpan.
We're gonna go. We are leaving this station with him. And we could also be leaving with you. That choice is yours.
You can tell there's like she's hanging on to something really heavy, big, and she doesn't know how to tell me. Look, when we were in the pod and he was dying, I was trying to keep him alive. She leans in even closer as if like this can't be heard. And she says, he was shot in the chest and he was bleeding out. And when I was applying pressure, it was, gosh, you're never going to believe me.
We will.
There was this thing in his chest. It protruded out when I pressed on it and I pulled it free. It looked like an egg yolk.
What did you do with it? Where is it?
Why?
We know what it is. That's
what is it?
It's something very dangerous.
Really?
Yeah.
She reaches into her poncho and from a chain she pulls it out and hanging from it is the embryo. She's like, I just thought it was like a really pretty resin piece or something. I didn't know why it was like in his body, but he's Shakespeare, right? I've seen him put all kinds of things in his body. So I took it. I thought I'd keep it, just in case I never saw him again. And you were staring at like a mini version of a face hugger. It's kind of in like a petri dish style thing. It can't be much bigger than about this, and it sits kind of largely on the like a pendant. She goes, "Well, I guess if it's that dangerous, I should let you have it."
I hold my hand out.
I want to use a. She goes to put it in. She pulls it back. She goes, "Wait, why is it dangerous? It looks so innocent."
If you want to know, you have to come onto our ship.
Now who's holding me hostage? It was kind of like all I had left. I mean, I pulled it from his chest cavity, if you know what I mean.
Look, if you help us find the man, then you can actually see his real chest cavity. You can see the
She
person,
pulls it
talk to
back
him
and she
again.
says, "You know what? You help me find Shakespeare, and I'll give you the pendant."
Perfect, great.
She says, "Until then, it stays with me." She puts it back over her head and tucks it in her shirt.
Okay.
She goes, "Deal." She goes, "Well, run along. You've got Shakespeare to rescue." She says, with not fully believing that you all are going to be able to actually do that.
So when you say help you find Shakespeare, you mean we find Shakespeare?
If you find Shakespeare and get us out of this predicament, I will give you this stupid pendant.
Why do you want to see him?
Why do you care?
I thought he ruined your life.
Maybe. She leans in just to you, not to Ace, who is still like last bits of bread going to the fish in pure shock. She says, "I see how you look at her. Sometimes you do anything for love."
Hmm.
Now that being said,
Right.
she's like, "What? You wouldn't pull something out of her chest cavity if she was dying?"
I would.
I guess you could say my sister and I had different reasons for doing what we did, but I don't know. You don't really know what you had till you don't have it anymore, kind of a thing. Sounds so stupid out loud, but I'm out of bread, and this conversation has drawn uh to a close. So, deal. You can have the thing when you do the thing.
Where can we find you?
At Gravity Time, of course.
Wow, that was scarily easy for you to
Sorry,
turn
it's
on.
habit, I guess. I've been doing this for a few years. And she kind of gives up and she kind of pitters off. She goes, "But yeah, you can trust me.
Okay.
I'll be there." And
Tomorrow.
she walks away. Every she looks over and she goes, "Every day."
I walk back over to Ace.
I'm out of bread.
I should have just grabbed it.
What?
The embryo. That's the whole reason we came here.
She has the embryo?
You weren't. Oh, you were over by the ducks.
I was
Yes.
feeding the fish.
Oh, and there's no ducks. What am I thinking? I lulled myself into an illusion. I really want there to be ducks, Ace. There's no ducks here. There's only
I
fish.
don't know what a duck is.
Exactly.
She kind of
I
says in
really wanted you to
frustration.
see. I grab her shoulders. I really wanted you to see ducks. I'm sorry.
She said,
But
"Did you know that this bigger fish just ate this little fish?"
oh yeah, it's a whole food chain. Everything. They're
That
vicious.
was so horrible. She says,
Um
and it's just like defeated,
yeah.
drained
So
space.
we have to find Shakespeare. And once we do, she will give us the uh well DNA nuke that she has on around her neck that she doesn't know is one. Not in the sense that it's going to explode, but that once Kitchens finds that, that's going to unlock so many things. I hope.
And I could have said it better myself, Zach. So many things it might unlock. Ace takes your hand, looking more for comfort than like, the romantic setting of walking by the lake. As you head back to see if you can find the rest of the group or locate Shakespeare, which seems to now be the new goal. I need to know in our last few minutes, because there's a very important scene we still need to get to. Where does everybody end up for the night?
I think
Oh,
Vince.
by the way, Rin, you're down another error. You're docked another error.
Vince and Ace for sure would, before trying to find a place to sleep and go to the next day, would at least try to go to both. I mean, finding the core of the station where no one's supposed to go should be pretty easy, but it may at least maybe ask or search around for place to get fungus and or masseuse place. So
I mean,
we would
you would
spend
have
some
known they
time
were
searching.
headed to kind of like the science end of things with the greenhouse and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Kitchens and Barden, do you head back? I mean, are you going to like rent a place, or are you going to have them like shuttle you back to your ship, which they will do? They'll shuttle you back to your place to stay for the night. I just need to know basically how everybody's going to meet up.
I'm gonna guess it was shuttling out, right? Wasn't that the plan?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
or were we staying?
Yeah, like our original plan was exactly what Zach had said. Was the 2 hour window and then meet back. Obviously, we're late.
8 hours later. Yeah.
I think for Barden and Kitchens, who were on the 3 hour tour, we'd head back to that spot and we'd probably see his note.
Okay.
And then
Timaeus would have given you the note. Timaeus would also be the person that would shuttle you back over.
Yeah.
Brother Timaeus. So eventually the four of you kind of gather. You got the note from Timaeus, you hung around. They return, the two of them, but there has been no sign of Rin. Timaeus will also confirm that Rin did not return.
We know where Rin went.
And I found myself upside down. It was the most ridiculous, and she's just going off on the recording.
God, I love her.
Well, let me tell you guys about that time when I had a drinking contest and won. Oh wait, that's every time. Never mind.
And as the recording continues, click, right? We hear it. I drink right about now. You do well. Rin, did you tell them you were going to check out the core? Okay, yeah. Then you would all know that is where Rin.
She told us that she's definitely
not
going to check out the core.
Yeah.
Then I would say you would all know that obviously that's not true. So that is where Rin went, though Rin never returned. You also know that area was marked as off limits. The only place on board that has so far been told that it was off limits. Do you do anything before the next day?
Vince and Ace for sure go to find the core, at least to check up on where she is.
I think it's safe.
Okay.
If we've all met up and haven't seen Rin before, she's either there or in prison.
That's a pretty logical sound. I need somebody to let's roll a survival check to try to backtrack. Somebody needs to roll a survival to backtrack Rin's steps.
Okay.
Because the fact of the matter is, the core is actually not an easy thing to find.
Yeah. I could give it a shot. And the four of us are together now, everyone except for Rin. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll give it a shot. Would they have taken my watch or not allowed me onto Arceon with a watch?
A basic watch, but if it was high tech in any way.
It's a Samani E series, so maybe not.
No,
okay.
Absolutely not.
Never mind.
If it was like an old school Mickey Mouse ticker, maybe.
Okay, here we go. Zip. I will certainly push
for
something like this. And I get one.
Hey, worth it. Okay. It takes you all a while. Rin, knock off some more air. Eventually what you find is this kind of dense layering of vines and things that feed into kind of this core. And you can see Vince is able to find where Rin maybe hacked away or like pulled some of it back. You can kind of retrace because nobody comes this way basically ever. So when you move the vinage, it's noticeable. You're able to actually literally track her like you would hunt an animal. And as all of you kind of peel through feet and feet and feet worth of it, eventually you come to a like metal steel not a cone, what is that, a cylindrical, like,
room, basically. If you look at the map of the ones I've given you, if you go all the way to the bottom left corner, which is kind of what I call the ant hill like shot where it's been chopped in half, this is the room that Ren is actually in. The problem is that the vinage comes out many feet before that. You have to remember this place is freaking huge. So like this whole area around it is vines, basically. And that's what you all kind of just cut through, and you've kind of reached the core spherical room at the center. And you can see there's a very tiny window into the door. Vince, actually, it's so funny that you found this. Vince, you know this kind of door. It's the door that you and Ben witnessed. It's the same kind of door that you witnessed all those people dying of the radiation leak. This is the kind of room way back when you were just a child. From the very beginning, episode number 1. It's the same kind of reactor, thick, dense radiation door. That is currently like closed. It's got like the little thing and it's like and is locked in place.
Vince looks up at it and then just takes a singular step back while still looking at it. And with this being my no, I just kind of look at kitchens and say, she might be in there. And I just kind of turn away from the door.
Well, I suppose we make ourselves inside.
Right.
Are you worried? You seem...
No, just a old bad memory. You can lead the way now.
Of course.
If you peer in, it's a little foggy, the window is, because there's body heat inside this room and everything else around this is kind of cold. And but if you like it away, inside is Rin talking to herself on a tape recorder.
Yeah, and you can see in blood there is a little sad face on the window.
There's blood on the window. Whether or not you read it as a sad face is up to Kitchens, but there is blood on the window.
Based upon the emoting and the amount of blood that I've discovered, I do not think Ren is very happy. Let's get her out of there. What do you say?
There was that other time that I was just laundering my own business, and then he came over, and there was a whole bar brawl.
Is there
She's
a
still
pad?
talking.
Is there a pad or anything that we might be able to access, like an opening pad?
I need a heavy machinery check to open the door, because that's basically what it is. It's one of those like huge, or I'll take a stamina check. I would take either one.
Right. Those aren't great for me.
Great. Well, somebody's got to open the door.
Vince would definitely step forward once Kitchens has looked in and like it seems like Ren's actually in there.
Yeah, Ren is in there. Ren, I'm gonna be honest. You're down to what, the last 2 air supplies? You have about an hour left before 3. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Okay. And this moment would have been your 3rd one. Yeah. So you're down to somewhere between 2 and 3. You had a few hours left. You wouldn't have made it through the night with the air supply you had.
Vince will try the door.
Okay.
Using
one of those
the technique old Ben taught me. And can I push this? Right?
You can push it.
I will. I'm stressed. Open.
Okay. The first time to no prevailed. The second time, you realize that maybe because you chose heavy machinery, not stamina, which means that you actually know something about the door. It's not just about your brute strength; it's what you know about this door. I'll kick the. What you learn is that there is some kind of magnetic seal lock on it. This is an airtight door, which means she's been locked in here for almost 8 hours with no fresh air. More importantly, the first time you try it, it doesn't budge, as if it has been forcibly
magnetized. Much like the wheel of a car will like lock itself. You know how like the wheel of a car like lock it and you have to unlock it, you have to like wiggle jiggle, right? And do the right thing to like re-release it. You know how to do that because you have seen Ben do it before, but the average person would not know that. This is a security lock. This usually is put in place when you have reactors and things that people aren't supposed, these kind of radiation leak areas that people really aren't supposed to be in. And as a safety measure, much like with the refrigerator, it like seals itself naturally by itself. You can't leave the door open. It closes, locks, and seals. And so you just wiggle jiggle it the second time around and spin it, and it when you hear the door open, and as it does, all of you can hear the stale air pour out.
Is this real? Hello? I
Ren?
got a scalpel. I'm not afraid to use it.
Ren?
Hey, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah, you should probably get out of here. How long were you in here?
You doing a little
I
project over
don't
there?
have a watch to keep track of my time, but I venture to guess that I've drawn on this part of and based on, I used all my fingers by now, so a long time, a while.
So lack of oxygen, blood loss, no food or water for the last minimum 8 hours. With all of this, rinse a little, maybe not doing great.
Well,
Everything's
promise we're
fine,
not a
don't worry about
hallucination.
it. I mean, if I can I test that? Hey, give me your arm. Come here.
Of
One of
course.
y'all. She takes a scalpel and
Oh,
just
lightly. Oh, okay, all right.
whoever's arm is in the way.
I'm glad I didn't volunteer.
I was
Andy
no. I
offered
need
his
to know
arm.
this. Whose arm?
It was probably
Yeah, it was Kitchen's.
Is it your good arm?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't put the regular arm to subject the modified arm to subject to change.
How deep do you cut, Ren?
Just enough to draw blood.
Okay. You know what? I've got one darkness point. And you know what? I had planned to do Kitchen's ask for the mushrooms today, but I could not have planned this better. So we'll end here on this darkness point. Ren, you're a little weak, and you've been hallucinating, and you wouldn't know what a light cut is. You cut a little too deep. And as you do, and maybe Kitchen's flinches, maybe Kitchen's doesn't. Maybe you feel bad, maybe you don't. As you cut through, the skin kind of splays out. Kitchens, you see something that you've never seen before. Maybe it's because you've never opened up your own wrist to take a look at this part. You've only looked at the other arm that you've done all of this work to. But on a piece of the synthetic bone and structure of your body in your left arm is what some might call a brand. It's actually, because I imagine your synthetic bone's made of some kind of fiberglass or not, or like it's got to be like Kevlar or some kind of really strong plastic or synthetic material, and they have carved something into it, a name, 5 letters, Judas.
I don't know if I'm still hallucinating or not. Does somebody else want to try? I could.
I look to see if others can see that.
It's
What
there.
is-
If he peels his skin back to the kind of synthetic bone past the white milkiness, very clearly carved, it says in 5 letters, Judas.
Oh no, is this the whole space Jesus thing again? I cannot. I must be hallucinating. Did I die? This is my hell. I swear.
I don't. What does that mean? Is that a code? Who is that? Or what is it?
We won't
My
know
only
till next
immediate
week.
reference is biblical, but it's not an area of my immediate specialty.
Maybe your original name was supposed to be Judas.
Pretty sure
Wait.
y'all are about to meet Thomas.
Right. Well,
Martin, you're moving your lips, but I
Martin's-
can't hear a
Sorry,
damn word you're
I
saying.
I was flabbergasted by the carving of my friend Kitchen's hair and
Now I
his
know I'm not
bones,
in
and
hell
it's
because
a
you're
whole
here.
thing. It's sorry. I was admiring your art. It's very similar to some of the less cultured anime that Kitchen watches occasionally.
Less culture. I'll show you less culture. Come on over here. I'll use your blood to paint with next time.
What's the third leg doing on that guy's here? I don't want.
That's a penis. It is a penis.
All
You
right,
should
well,
know.
I wasn't.
I'm sorry, unless you're not. In that case, that's fine too. I'm just saying.
Maybe you should take more art classes and less gun classes. Regardless, I think maybe that this maybe all of the David models have a different name, right? They couldn't all
Or
be
maybe
David.
it's code for something.
how-
Maybe
that's how they
it's a
knew.
password to a nuclear device that wipes out all of humanity. I don't know.
Dot, what year is it again? Remind me.
The current year?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to check my information sheet.
Says
It's like 22 something.
2193.
So, okay.
2193.
Okay, cool. Barden kind of waffles the description, and then he like leans towards Kitchen and does his best version of a whisper. He says, "Kitch, I think this is the whole Jesus thing, right? With David. Remember, he saw that he was an engineer, was Jesus, and then
yes,
the apostles, right? You're the bad one. You're predestined to be the bad guy.
Oh,
Yeah, like the 12 apostles, right?
Why are you whispering? Is there a secret?
I don't know. It's a little bit young for Vince to know about things. Vince, look at that. It's a penis on the guy. Anyway,
is there any kind of
if
like
I'm alive or not?
is there
you're
any kind of
fine.
like recollection or
Also,
something that I
can
might be able to
y'all
roll?
please like not stand by
Yeah.
away from the door? I feel like
While
there might be
Kitchens
somebody
and
out there just shutting doors on people.
Kitchens and Barden seem to know what they're talking about, so Vince will go over to Rin and care for her and bring her out of this room that she's been in for the last 8 hours and just kind of bring her outside. And
She needs some fresh fresh air.
What a dangerous sentence. Kitchens and Barden seem to know what they're doing.
I imagine do y'all stay here or do you walk back to like together? Y'all walk and talk.
Yeah,
Probably
sure. Walk around
and
with
talk,
I think Kitchen's
Rin
okay with
with
sitting
bloody
down for a minute.
covered fingers
Or-
and hands
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Yeah, you're just kind of surrounded by this
Yeah.
greenery, and as
Mhm.
as the everything kind of draws to a close, I want to make sure we get that last question for Bub answered. What was your question, Bub?
Was there anything that I could roll as far as a recollection for religion in regards to what he just informed me?
Possibly. Here's the thing. This biblical sense of old Earth seems to be reoccurring more frequently now than ever before. At least in the what you have all been investigating, right? It popped up in one place and then another. The original David was kind of crucified, hanging inside of the covenant. There were 12 Davids selected, each sent out to spread David 1's purpose, or what he believed his purpose was. And then the new information you got about the engineers and the dates relating to one of their arrivals 2,000 years ago, landing about the same time. And when the engineers wanted to leave, at least the research that was done, or were headed to leave to destroy Earth, based on, you have those records, the research records from Wayland Yutani, and what happened there. It never happened, but it all kind of relates to the same period of time in ancient Earth history, which has to do with the death of Christ. And so there's this kind of strange reoccurrence of these themes and this thematic thing. Now, I'm not going to make you roll for this because I don't know that it's something that Kitchens would innately know. You may have to go find a piece of knowledge about it. Whether or not Judas was the bad guy is, I think, up to interpretation. Oftentimes, Judas was known as a very specific disciple. Was he the bad guy? That's the interpretive piece, right? But he, you know, you'll have to do a little digging. Kitchens might have to do some digging, which this might be the place.
Bub sees this as if this is the Judas situation, he's left with a choice. Kitchens was left with a choice. And he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't.
So was Judas. However Kitchens takes that, however all of you take it, we will end our episode here. We'll be back next week to continue. We will kick off with a new day or start of a new cycle for them, right, which is a evolution. And Kitchens can try to make an argument for this fungus that he so desperately wants.
Hell yeah.
Until next week, everybody. So sorry, we'll have to wait. I have to go PAX now.
I know, so interesting. Like I did not expect the freaking apostles, but
y'all, I want you to know I have been trying to feed y'all that piece of information.
Yeah, it's such a
since the beginning.
Yeah,
since the beginning, I was like, there are 12 Davids. Their names are this, and you got information that the last person that you asked had they met a David model. She told you last episode. The other synth told you what he called himself.
Yeah,
James.
You're welcome for Delirious Ren, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Well done. Yep. Well done. All right, friends, that's it for what is this? Episode 11? Episode 11 of Alien Genesis. We're out of here for the night. We'll do our outros. No after show. I have to go pack for PAX. Dot's already at PAX. We got PAX things to do. So no after show for this, but do join us over on the Patreon. There is all kinds of new stuff coming out at the $10 tier, as well as all the usual at the $5 tier. We're officially at 61 patrons. This is the most patrons we've ever had since I started Patreon. We're trying to hit 70 by the end of the month. And if we hit 75 by the end of the year, I'm doing a big free league giveaway. So go in the doobly-doo and do the thing. That being said, let's do our outros. Let's get the hell out of here so you can enjoy the rest of your day. We'll start with the illustrious game mother we have here. Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Well, I'm in a hotel room right now in Philly because I'm at PAX. That's what I'm doing right now. So if you're headed out to PAX U, mask up and come see us. We'll be at the Cobalt Press booth, which I think is 3331. 3331.
That sounds right.
I got the thumbs up from Megan. I remember. Thank you. I got the thumbs up. I did it right. Yeah. So 3331's our booth. So if you're out there, come check us out. If you're not, don't worry. Tomorrow, Cobalt Press is actually launching a little holiday thing we're calling the Adventure Calendar, which is adorable. I know. Which means that we'll be running daily, limited time daily sales on products from throughout our library every day during the month of December. So you can check us every day. We'll have a new item, new sale running through the month of December. It should be very cool. Other than that, I'm out here making podcasts with Bubs, and we got a corruption bar. Okay, I need to note that because I'm going to save it for next time because I spent the last one that I had. Thanks, chat. Now I can fudge them up even more.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to save the one I've got. But yeah, that's it. I'm out here making podcasts with Bub. I'm over here playing games on Mike's channel, and the rest of the time I'm Cobalt pressing really, really hard. I can officially tell you though, if you want to play some Alien with me, it will be the campaign that I run on the next D3 at Sea Cruise. We are going to the we're going to the Bermuda, leaving out of New York, and I will be running a full Alien campaign this time. So
speaking of running games with Dot, you can find me over on Dot's channel on December 18th.
18th.
At 18th. Noon.
Sign-ups are coming when I get back from PAX, by the way.
At noon o'clock, I'll be running a game for her Sunday Fun Day. But more on the topic of podcasts with Bub. Bub, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Bob. I'm also slightly brain dead right now. I didn't think that this was going to take such an exquisite biblical turn, but man, I'm open for these surprises. Dot's not wrong here. I do a lot of podcasting stuff. I'm trying to do more podcasting stuff. I'm in the midst of writing some new things. I've got a big surgery coming up, so my content is kind of like very slow right now. Please be patient. Lots of cool things on its way. I just got to casually have 6 to 11% of my skin removed from my body. And then after that, I will be up to snuff and ready to terrorize the worlds of creativity. So hopefully you guys are around for that. But that's me.
I think that's an OnlyFans coming after that. But before that happens, Zach, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hello, I am Zach. I do things on internet like this show. Also, Arvin Eleron's channel, which is Dot and I do the Our Vocalists, where we voice characters in text-based games over there. Right now, playing what's it called, Citizen Sleeper, but very soon, actually, I think on the 13th it was of December. Yes, the 13th. We always yearly on that channel do a reading of a Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol? Is that what it is? Right?
Yep.
And yeah, and I think Dot, you're going to be the narrator, right?
Yeah, I get to narrate this year.
Yeah. So we have that. I'm also on a show over on Arvin Eleron's channel that's a mixture of D&D and Esper Genesis, so kind of like the fantasy and sci-fi element of 5th edition, where I play very interesting characters over there. And then also on my own channel and beyond.
Okay.
Thanks.
I didn't expect the and beyond. Also, Zach is a professional GM, so look him up for some professional GMing services.
Yes. I may or may not be a featured guest on the official D&D podcast later this month. I don't know when it's going to be released, but
look at this fancy boy. Yeah, so go check him out for some pro level DMing stuff. And last but definitely not least, the addled and delusioned apparently this episode. Meta, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Oh, that's what that was.
Oh my god, this is my alien head. I got it myself.
I didn't know what it was.
Trophy. Okay,
it's a Rin trophy, Christ.
Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
I've been waiting to show you guys this all season.
Is awesome.
All season. But I've been moving for 2 years. Apparently. Anyway, so yep, me and my buddy we're just gonna hang out. This is what we do on Wednesday nights. And I feel like I need to step up my game. Like I don't have any cool things to talk about. So I don't know. Maybe next time I'll do something super crazy on the internet and talk about it. I don't know.
Okay.
We have to find out.
Well, you'll have to come back here to find out.
Yeah, you'll have to come back and find out.
What cult meta starts.
What am I gonna do?
But that is it from us, guys. We will see you next week for more of Jesus Christ Superstar in space. And
it's a new title. It has to be the new title. Can we please make a spin-off?
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Jesus Christ Superstar. Some of us were in choir. That being said, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be at PAX all weekend. If you're there, come see me, come hang out. If not, then fucking figure out your life. So from all of us to you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.